I.S.U.P.K.
This is the book of Hosea, chapter 4, verse 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
Most High says, his people are destroyed, not built up, not successful, not righteous, but destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Read that again, Baba Kasha.
My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee.
The Most High has rejected us because we reject the knowledge. The knowledge in this Bible, the laws, statutes, and commandments. The laws that state that we are commanded to love one another. Love thy neighbor, right? We're supposed to love our brother. Back here, what you're witnessing again under Commander GEN.YAHANNA is just so marvelous. I can't even stop giving them accolades. But in this truth, we have brothers that never seen each other before. We could go to any city where you under this banner and you will see love. You will get love. You will get the type of love you never got from your family. The type you never could get from being a Crip or a Blood. Right. The type of love you could get from being Alpha Phi Alpha, Omega Psi Phi, or for being a Chicago Bear or a Detroit Lion. Any type of way we're carted off and divided, you don't get that love like you get in I.S.U.P.K. Right now, our brothers are traveling up to Chicago for a fire weekend, right? All the brothers from all over, brothers and sisters, families coming together, and it's nothing but pure love, just like it was in Houston, just like it'll be in Vegas and in New York, and anywhere we travel. You know what I mean? Because we under the law, statutes, and commandments. We didn't reject the knowledge. We returning back to the knowledge. What Esau wants us to do is forget Kunta Kinte. He wants us to forget Tamir Rice. He wants us to forget Philando Castile. Forget Freddie Gray. You know what I mean? Forget what's happening to our people, Hispanics, Native Indians, and the blacks every day. You know what I mean? Everybody want to talk about Trump, but really Joe Biden is really that slithering serpent that was in the garden. He's seducing you to sleep with stimulus checks here and there, and you thinking everything is all right. You should be afraid, black man and woman. You should be afraid. You should keep your eyes wide open at this point, because it's not for no reason. You know what I mean? Slowly there's wool being pulled over your eyes as you getting, that's why the employment rate right now is suffering, because people getting all of this money, right? All of these stimulus checks, they don't even want to go to work at this point. People thinking, oh, Joe Biden is good. We were right to vote for Joe Biden over Trump. But see, Trump was the devil that you could see. Joe Biden is the devil that you don't see coming, and it's coming. You understand? Drop that, Baba Kasha. Let me get Isaiah chapter 1, verse 3. We have to come back to the knowledge of who we are. We have to understand that we are not African. You know what I mean? We're not African American. You know what I mean? We're not Negro. We're not colored. We're not black, which is just a color. According to this Bible, we actually have a title. You know what I mean? Prince of the Power, Yasharallah. There's 18 nations in this Bible, and we are the one that's on high. Read.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 1, verse 3. The ox knoweth his owner.
An ox, a very stubborn animal, right? He knoweth his owner. This is the Most High giving an analogy to two stubborn animals. Read on.
And the ass his master's crib.
An ass, which is a donkey, also another dumb, stubborn animal. But he knows his master's crib, which is where he lived. Read on.
But Israel.
But who?
Israel.
But who?
Israel.
Israel
Doth not know.
In the Bible, it says that Israel does not even know who they are or who they belong to, according to this Bible. The same Bible that Reverend Pigfoot reads every day, or supposedly reads from every Sunday. But yet you go into church, you double, triple tie, and you come out the same. You go in a wet homosexual in a baptism and come up a wet homosexual out of the baptism. At not one time do you gain the true knowledge that this Bible intended for you to learn. You're supposed to get this Bible and get the breath of life, the living water, what Adam received, right? When you get in this Bible, you're supposed to be born again, be made anew. When you come into this truth, you understand that who we are, number one. You also understand who your enemies are. You understand? You also understand that there is a game that you've been placed in, and that there's one side and there's another side. The problem is we are all on the wrong side. The people that's not on this side over here with the UPK. You understand? You're following after the heathens, after their counsel, after their ways that they'd established before us. Read that again from the top, Baba Kasha.
The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But Israel doth not know.
Israel doth not know. Once you get that, let me get Isaiah 58:1. Israel doth not know. Before most of us, came into this knowledge of the truth, we was living in the world. You know what I mean? We was 9 to 5 and slaving, trying to hustle, trying to get money, trying to get women, doing drugs to compete with the pain of being in captivity. You know what I mean? Most of us were just selfish. Most of us just was out to get the latest Jordans, the fly car, the flyest girl. You know what I mean? That was it. That's our whole goal in life. And then we wear a cross on our neck. We get a tattoo of Cesar Borgia, the white so-called man you guys call affectionately Jesus Christ. And that's life. That's living. We go to the club on the weekend. We go to church on Sunday. We eat whatever we want. We do whatever we do. We live the so-called American dream. And we think that's according to this Bible. Until we open this Bible and you read it. Read.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 58, verse 1. Cry aloud.
Why every Sabbath or Saturday, those men are out here messing up our Saturday? It comes from the Bible right here. Read it again.
Cry aloud.
Cry softly.
Cry aloud.
Cry faintly.
Cry aloud.
Cry it all. He says cry aloud. Why are we crying aloud? Read on.
Spare not.
Sparing not your feelings. When you walk by and you hear something that we say from this Bible and you don't like it, it resonates with you where you're like, oh, let me get away from them. They talking about drugs. I like doing drugs. Oh, let me get away from them. They talking about I can't be gay. I like Sally Mae. Oh, let me get away from them. They say we can't eat pork. We can't go to get baby back ribs and shrimp. Let me get away from them. They're crazy. That's a cult. Read again.
Cry aloud. Spare not.
Spare not your feelings. That feeling that you get is the Lord tapping you. That spirit in you that you have, that demon on you that makes you want to break these laws, feeling convicted. That's the problem. That's what you're feeling. So either you have the strength and courage to step up and listen and take heed, go home, do research and say, what are those crazy people talking about? We can eat pork. All we have to do is pray over it. We can sleep with whoever we want to. With love is love, right? There's nothing wrong with us having interracial marriage. Love is love. Read on.
Lift up thy voice.
Lift up thy voice, right? So you can hear, not from right here because you're going to run away, but so you can hear before you even see us, you hear our voice. Read.
Lift up thy voice like a trumpet.
Like a mouse.
Like a trumpet.
Like a sleeping baby.
Like a trumpet.
Like a little cute puppy.
Like a trumpet.
Like a trumpet. And a trumpet howls, it blows. A trumpet can be annoying or it can be beautiful. You understand? But it is loud. And this is in the book of Isaiah. Read it again from the top.
Cry aloud, spare not. Lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgression.
And show my people, the Lord's people, 12 tribes of Israel, their transgression. And transgression of the law is what the Most High is speaking on. That we're breaking his laws by celebrating Kwanzaa. We're breaking his laws by celebrating Christmas. We're breaking the Most High's laws by celebrating the 4th of July. We're breaking God's law by celebrating our birthdays. You understand? We're breaking God's laws by eating the unlawful food that the Bible tells us not to eat. We're breaking God's laws by being upset with our father because he abuses, so in old age, we abuse him. We're breaking God's laws because we're so depressed, because we don't have the things that we think we should have, that we resort to drugs. We break God's laws by selling drugs to our people to buy Jordans or to pay our bills. We're breaking God's laws. Read on.
And the house of Jacob their sins.
And the house of Jacob. Jacob's name was changed to Israel. The 12 tribes of Israel from Judah down, Manasseh, Reuben, all the way down, all the 12 tribes, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native American Indians, our transgression. Read again from the top one more time, Select.
Cry aloud.
Cry aloud is what the I.S.U.P.K does. Read it again.
Cry aloud, spare not. Lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgression.
Jeremiah 23:1. Why haven't you heard this in the Christian church? You know what I mean? Why is it that the Christian church has been here since the inception of slavery, and yet we are still the slave? The shackles been off our feet, right? The cuffs off our hands, and we are still enslaved because the spirit of selfishness. That is contrary to the spirit of the Most High, or for the brothers in the school and the truth, which is brotherhood. You can't have brotherhood and have selfishness. You know what I mean? Selfishness makes you do what you want to do. Selfishness makes you feed into your own lusts, right? One of the hardest things to do when you're trying to lose weight is go in the grocery store and walk past Krispy Kreme donuts, right? One of the hardest things to do is when you've been in a rehab for over a year, so in and out, right? One of the hardest things to do is deny your friends that was getting high with you. You trying to stay off drugs, right? You get off heroin. They see that, oh, you doing good, sister, you looking good, you looking good. But deep down, because they didn't get off heroin, they can't wait for you to fall back, to backslide, as you say. They can't wait, because they don't feel good to see you do good. You understand? One of the hardest things is to get out of prison. You go out and try to get a menial job at Home Depot, listening to some 19-year-old kid supervisor telling you what to do when you made tons of money in the street game, right? But you gotta humble yourself for this guy? That's hard to do. What's hard to do is do sit-ups in the morning before when you wake up. Do push-ups, go running a few miles. It's hard to do. Every successful thing or great thing that we deem successful takes work, right? It's hard to do. Well, guess what? Why does the Christian church let you do everything that's easy to do? Eat that bacon, eat that sausage, eat that ham, sleep with that whore, sleep with that man if you're a male, or that female can sleep with this female. You know what I mean? Celebrate Halloween in the church. It's for the kids. It's for the children. Teach the children that Easter bunnies lay eggs. Celebrating Easter, Ishtar. Celebrating the zodiac sign, worrying about what stars align in the retrograde of Mercury.